you know, so sometimes things are tricky, you know what I mean? And it's a little bit more difficult than just making the fight happen. But like I said, I'm pushing to make the biggest and best fights happen. And
David Benavidez quickly shut down the growing hype, giving a surprising reason that caught everyone off guard. But behind his refusal lies a smart, strategic plan that completely reshaped
Canelo Crawford fight, asking like, hey, could you maybe come down to 168?
of closing an old chapter and starting a new one on his own terms. On the night of September 13th, the atmosphere was electric as Terence "Bud" Crawford made history by moving up in weight and defeating the legendary Canelo Alvarez.
Canelo a couple of times, and he looked spectacular. Congratulations to Terence Crawford for that great performance, and man, it was a great fight.
Were you expecting more from Canelo?
I was expecting a lot more. I was expecting Canelo to knock out Crawford, to be honest with you, because it's a three-weight divisions. Well, he did fight one time at a higher division, but and to me, it's three weights, you know. He had to go up a lot in weight, and that's what I was expecting. But at the end of the day, you know, I got to give respect to Canelo. You know, he has done so much in boxing that it will be hard for somebody else to achieve and make. He trained hard, you know, and he said that he tried, but the body did not respond. And I've been saying that, you know, the body is worn out. You know, Canelo is young, but in boxing life, he's worn.
As fans were still in awe of Crawford's incredible victory, His Excellency Turki Alashik sparked fresh excitement with a single post. Can David Benavidez still make 168 pounds? Instantly, the idea of a dream matchup caught fire. Benavidez, the undefeated two-time champion boasting 30 wins and 24 knockouts, was the feared powerhouse many believe Canelo had avoided for years. A showdown between Crawford's sharp technique and Benavidez's raw strength felt like the perfect, must-see fight. The fans were eager, the money was right, and even the biggest promoter in the sport was hinting that it could really happen.
I said to you earlier, I think Terence is really funny. I love the way he lives his life. I love the way he brings his kids. You know, if you watch his kids with the wrestling and stuff like that, he's just a winner. And I feel that, you know, you got guys who are really, really, really good, and they're not really hell-bent on becoming a star. I put you in that category. I put Terence in that category. Maybe Shakur, where they feel like they don't really want to, like, Terence ain't bothered about going to premieres and, you know, like being on the front cover of magazines and stuff like that. But unfortunately, in the business, we have to try and make sure he has that kind of value commercially. So it's getting the narrative and the moments right to just showcase his personality a little.
Benavidez took a moment to praise Crawford, calling his performance incredible and saying he belongs among the greatest fighters of all time. He made it clear, though, that he has no interest in fighting Crawford or returning to 168 pounds. While he admitted winning all the titles would be great, he said he's moved past that weight class. His message was firm and final. It wasn't about negotiation or hype. To drive the point home, he added, "I wouldn't even go to 168 for Canelo. I'm just being real. Crawford owns that division now, and I'm done with it."
But you know, I want to take this opportunity though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, you know, congratulate Crawford. You know, he put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, you know, let Crawford do his thing, bro. You know, at the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that.
When asked if a massive $120 million offer could tempt him to return, Benavidez didn't hesitate. His answer was a firm no. This decision, he made clear, wasn't driven by money, but by something far more important.
If I found the only reason, I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo. And I'm just being real with you, you know, and let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him, I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, you know, and Crawford, you know, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, you know, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford or whatever, you know, but Crawford's a man at 168. That's his weight class. I'm done with 168.
The real reason behind Benavidez's choice isn't just the tough weight cut. It's a calculated move toward a bolder, more ambitious phase of his career. He's not avoiding a challenge. He's chasing an entirely different one.
Boxing is a business, David. If they throw $100 million 120 million to go down for either or? Like,
I mean,
would you second?
20 million sounds good, but honestly, at the end of the day, no. no. But they won't give 120 million. I don't even think Canelo got 120 million for fighting Crawford, to be honest with you. But no, man, I'm done with 160.
Benavidez has moved up to the light heavyweight division at 175 pounds, setting his sights on the top fighters in the class. His next goal is a high-stakes showdown with Britain's Anthony Yarde, a fight slated to take place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia.
Whatever money they want on me, and my job is not only to get the money. My job is to give myself the best chance to win and to give myself the best chance of looking good.
He views this as his opportunity to gain worldwide recognition and, more importantly, as a crucial step toward reaching the very top of the 175-pound division.
Let me know how this fight came about, because I was surprised that you went this route with Yarde.
Yeah, so there was a lot of options on the table. You know, obviously we wanted to get a great fight because the last fight with me and David Benavidez lived up to expectation. I think it exceeded expectations. So we wanted to give the fans a good fight. We were in line for Bivol for the belts, you know, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So we were looking, you know, to get a crowd-pleasing fight, and we're trying to fight the best in the division of 175. If it's not the champions, you know, we want to fight the next best guys. We're looking at some options, but the only one that really manifested itself was the fight with Anthony Yarde, and I think this is a crowd-pleasing fight. You know, Anthony Yarde, you know, he's a great fighter. You know, he still has a ton of fight in him. He's been in there with Archer Beterbiev, Kovalev. So he's been up there with, you know, the top guys, and I feel like this is probably going to be the most he comes prepared for any fight, because he's lost his last two title fights, and you know, I feel like he knows that this is probably the last opportunity. Not his last opportunity, but this is, you know, he has to take advantage of this opportunity. So I'm not taking Anthony Yarde lightly. I know he has a dog in him. You know, I know he has a lion in him, but, you know, I have the lion in me as well. So this is going to be a perfect fight for my first fight with Riyadh.
Benavidez is confident that victory is certain and sees it as a launchpad toward facing the division's toughest champions, Dimitri Bivol and Artur Beterbiev.
Like I said, I'm very grateful for this, and not only am I grateful for fighting with Riyadh season, but I'm grateful because I don't want to just be a regional fighter. I want to be a worldwide fighter, and this is the first time that I'm going to fight in a different country, in Saudi Arabia. So this is going to be it's going to be a gift for the fans in Saudi Arabia. You know, when I went over there the first time to see Bivol and Beterbiev fight, you know, a lot of people show love, and I know I have a lot of fans out there. So, you know, this is going to be a great fight.
Benavidez wasn't the only one shutting down the potential super fight. In a surprising turn, Terence Crawford's camp showed no interest either. Crawford's respected trainer, Brian "Bomac" McIntyre, quickly dismissed the idea that Benavidez was next, saying bluntly, "No, we ain't doing that fight." He emphasized that their main focus was letting Crawford rest and recover after an intense 6-month training camp for the Canelo matchup.
In this weight division, 175 pounds, you have the undisputed champion in Dimitri Bivol, who's reigning, but he has we think a rubber match with Artur Beterbiev scheduled at some point. Has it been told to you, David, that like if you win this fight, you're gonna get a crack at either Bivol or Beterbiev?
I mean, yeah, it's not. They haven't told me specifically that, but you know, I mean, just in the trajectory of what I'm doing, what I am. You know, I'm world champion at 175 with the WBC, so it's inevitable. It's just when it's gonna happen. You know what I mean? I take my career one fight at a time. You know what I mean? I don't really let other fights kind of get into my brain. You know, I'm getting ready for Anthony Yarde. I'm 100% focused on Anthony Yarde, and whatever comes next, comes next. But as for what I'm thinking of, you know, that's. What else is there left? What other fights you guys want to see me fight? You know what I mean? Especially that we're here with Turki Al-Sheikh. We're getting these fights done. In my opinion, a fight with Beterbiev or Bivol is next. You know what I mean?
McIntyre wanted Crawford to take a break and enjoy time with his family, not rush into talks for another grueling fight. His comments made it clear that this matchup was never a serious plan for Crawford's team. The story wasn't just about Benavidez saying no. It was about two top fighters heading in separate directions, with neither camp seeing the other as part of their near-term plans.
We're going to get back in the gym. And we're going to assess that. And, you know, right now I just want him to go on vacation, have some fun, spend time with his family, man, because we trained for like probably a half a year for that fight. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of time spent away from home, a lot of time spent away from the family. So I just want him to just go get back home.
He wanted his...
To grasp Benavidez's mindset, you need to consider the long, frustrating shadow of Canelo Alvarez. Bigger, younger, and fiercely aggressive, Canelo was widely seen as the one fighter Benavidez couldn't get to face. That endless chase left him disillusioned with the 168-pound division. His move up isn't just about career strategy, it's an emotional release. He's done waiting and ready to focus on new challenges.
Just feel the need for Benavidez.
Canelo?
Turkey people are talking about it.
Turkey hit it at that. He was like, Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey,
did.
so-
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No,
there.
man. I ain't doing that fight.
Maybe planning on vacating the belts.
No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. You know, we just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym and do our...
Seeing Crawford finally beat the fighter he could never face may have been the final confirmation for Benavidez. He believed Crawford approached the fight with more focus, implying that Canelo's ego got in the way and kept him from preparing properly. By walking away from 168 pounds, Benavidez is closing the Canelo chapter for good, choosing to forge a new path instead of staying in a division shaped by a fight that never happened.
The type of person that Canelo is, he's gonna be, oh, well, I didn't prepare for that fight, but now I'm prepared, this and that. You know, there's another storyline behind that. Because of the way he lost. He didn't go in there and get just beat up and destroyed the whole fight. It just didn't look like he prepared at all. And the fighter that was prepared, was Crawford. So, there could still be a big storyline, 175. Like I said, he could say, oh, well, now I'm motivated. Now I have a reason to train, now this and that. And it'll be a title fight for 175. So, everything is still possible right now. Then Canelo, what is he, like 35? 33, yeah. And then imagine Crawford was 38. So, I mean, I don't, I'm not focused on Canelo. I got my own stuff going on, but if there might be a way to make that fight happen. So, like I said, I'm not really worried about that. I'm just thinking about the fighters.
Benavidez's firm decision also reflects a deep personal transformation. He's no longer the reckless young fighter who made headlines for the wrong reasons. Acknowledging past mistakes and criticisms, he has grown into a stronger, more focused man, crediting much of his change to prayer and meditation. Committed to living rightly as a fighter, father, and husband, he now has a clear vision for his life and career. He's driven by the pursuit of greatness and a lasting legacy, refusing to be distracted by outside noise or short-term opportunities. Turning down a fight with Crawford isn't arrogance. It's the deliberate choice of a man who knows exactly who he is and where he's headed, inside and outside the ring.
Canelo was making, and I know all these people say, oh yeah, talking shit about Canelo. I'm not talking shit about him. He just didn't look like he really prepared 100%. Just throwing 10 punches around, or I think it was his ego is that big that he thought that, oh, I'm just gonna walk through him, catch him with a good shot, and it's gonna be done. As you can see, Crawford is a different type of fighter. Not only has he had the boxing IQ, he has that dog in him. He was in there. He was brawling. If I'm being honest with you, bro, I'm not happy that he lost. I kind of felt like that could have been me. That was my moment. You know what I mean? If I would have gone in there, I know I would have beat him. You know what I mean? So I don't want to be a hater, but that's kind of how I feel. But you know what I mean? I give all the flowers to Crawford. You know what I mean?
That should have been me in there. That should have been my...
If I would have got that fight.
This resolute stance is also a reflection of a profound
Sparring with Bivol when I was just 22 gave me confidence I could beat him, but I'm not relying on that alone. I know I have to work extremely hard to succeed. Moving up to 175 pounds and aiming for the winner between Bivol and Beterbiev is exactly why I want these big fights. Facing top-level opponents changes everything. The training, the mindset, and ultimately, how you perform in the ring. That's the challenge I crave, where I have to use every bit of my skill, and I know the best version of me will show up. I'm not afraid. Even if light heavyweight isn't my final stop, I'm determined to push toward cruiserweight next, a step closer to heavyweight. But for now, Light heavyweight is the division I've been eager to conquer for a long time.
What I did to him in those sparring sessions, I'm very confident I'll win. But I'm not gonna, be a fool and just use confidence as 100% fuel. I'm gonna go in there and work extremely hard.
You're looking to go up to 175 pounds and potentially get the winner out of Benavidez and Bivol.
That's why I want to be a part of these big fights too, because as you know, both you guys know, once you get a really good fighter in front of you, the training camp is different. The mentality is different. And when you get in that ring, you shine. That's what I want for myself. I want to be put in them hard positions where you have to use 100% of your skills. And that's why I feel like the best will come out of me. So I'm not scared of it. So whatever it is, even if light heavyweight isn't my final destination, I really want to go up to cruiserweight.
Ooh, so that's cruiserweight, just another, you're a weight class away from going to actual heavyweight.
Yeah. But we're going to move one step at a time. We got light heavyweight. That's a division I've been wanting to go to for a long, long time.
So, with the Crawford dream fight officially dead, what shocking new path lies ahead for the Mexican?
With the Crawford dream fight off the table, David Benavidez has chosen a bold, new path. His focus isn't limited to light heavyweight. If matchups with Bivol or Beterbiev don't happen, he plans to move up to 200 pounds in the cruiserweight division for a massive clash with fellow Mexican powerhouse Zordo Ramirez. He believes a battle between two Mexican hard hitters of this caliber would be an unmissable war for fans. This plan shows he's chasing the toughest challenges, not easy paydays or exhibition fights. The dream fight didn't die because of politics. It ended because Benavidez chose his own path, stepping headfirst into the brutal waters of light heavyweight. Some may call it avoiding Crawford, but others will see it as a masterstroke, rejecting the expected to build his own legacy. He's trading one legendary challenge for even bigger threats, aiming to prove himself against the raw power of Bivol and Beterbiev. This isn't a retreat. It's a decisive move into dangerous new territory, a gamble that could either make him a multi-division legend or shatter his perfect record. One thing is clear, the monster is no longer waiting for a king. He's hunting his own crown.